All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring what is honestly the holy grail of modern asset management, and that's the pursuit of perfect truth. We're going to dive into a truly fascinating intersection, the exact moment where the mathematical absolute certainty of blockchain code actually meets the legally binding real-world reality of traditional finance.
The fundamental anxiety of modern tokenization really boils down to one massive disconnect. How on earth do you guarantee that a digital token perfectly matches up with real-world accounting? For years, the industry has just been banging its head against the wall trying to solve this gap between what a smart contract says and what the legal ledger says. We basically call this the Oracle problem at an institutional scale. It's the inability of a blockchain to natively know if an off-chain asset's legal status has changed. Historically, it's been a bit like trying to balance your checkbook while completely blindfolded.
So, to unlock the massive scalable efficiency we all want, here is our roadmap for how the Ixian Decile Hub integration permanently syncs these two worlds. We'll be looking at bridging two truths, managing asset life cycles, creating legal SPVs, tracking capital accounts, syncing the ledgers, and finally, automating legal packs.
Let's start right off with Section 1, Bridging Two Truths.
We've got to build a bridge between two completely different universes. It's like a giant puzzle. On one side, we have computational truth. Think of the ERC-7827 ledger as this flawless, deterministic mathematical machine using incredibly efficient LIFO-JSON state tracking. But on the other side, we have accounting truth. That's the Decile Hub platform tracking journal entries and managing special purpose vehicles in a much more probabilistic legal reality. And here's the kicker. If these two sides don't communicate flawlessly with each other, the whole shebang breaks down.
Moving right along to Section 2, Managing Asset Life Cycles.
We're following a single tokenized bearer asset from its conception all the way to its final compliance checks. This four-part operational pipeline is absolutely crucial. It transforms passive ledger entries into programmable economic agents that can literally handle autonomous settlement. We're not just, moving digital coins around here. We're initiating a sequence where creating a legal entity automatically triggers capital tracking, which then syncs the accounting books and finally issues the necessary legal agreements. And this table brilliantly illustrates the how. We are mapping specific on-chain actions directly to Decile Hub API endpoints. A legal wrap action that hits the entity's endpoint. A compliance update that triggers the send pact endpoint. The blockchain isn't just sitting there acting in isolation anymore. It has direct, programmable levers pulling strings inside the fund administration platform.
All right, Section 3, Creating Legal SPVs.
Before any digital magic can happen, you have to ground the asset in the real world. Enter the SPV. The asset has to be housed in a special purpose vehicle, which is a critical container ensuring bankruptcy remoteness for the token holders. Basically, this just means that if a parent company fails, the assets inside the SPV are entirely protected. They can be claimed by the actual token holders, not swept up by general creditors.
Now, by using the Decile Hub API's entities endpoint, we can programmatically create these SPVs to back our on-chain assets. So instead of paying lawyers crazy hourly rates for weeks of manual paperwork, which, let's be real, nobody wants to do, the API establishes that legal scaffolding almost instantly. This part is a real game changer. Under Liechtenstein's TTG law, often called the Blockchain Act, this setup acts as a token container model. The token essentially acts as a digital vault for physical rights. But how do you know what's in the vault actually exists? That is where the physical validator comes in. They serve as a registered sovereign-level bridge, legally guaranteeing that if you hold a token for an asset off-chain, that asset actually exists exactly as it's described. No smoke and mirrors.
Which brings us to Section 4, Tracking Capital Accounts.
We need to follow the money and manage the economics, right? Well, the API's capital accounts endpoints seamlessly track LP commitments and totals for each asset published via the QGov ledger. That's the overarching governance network. By integrating this directly, fund managers don't have to sit there manually updating spreadsheets every single time an investor subscribes. The agentic workflow tracks the target fund size and all those individual commitments in real time.
Okay, Section 5, Syncing the Ledgers. This is arguably the absolute climax of this whole perfect truth integration. The mechanics here are just fascinating to geek out over. The on-chain ERC-7827 write event uses this highly compressed data format known as LNI 33x bit packing. This maximizes density and allows for O of 1 complexity. We aren't relying on loose approximations here. We are acting as an ALU surveyor,
recording human intent with absolute bit-perfect efficiency.
This automated execution completely liquidates informational debt. I absolutely love this concept from the source material, a record of sweat. Actually, scratch that. It's more like an undeniable proof of reality. It physically grounds cryptographic data right back into human effort, proving mathematically that real human work took place, piloted by a human and executed flawlessly by the network. The exact fraction of an on-chain write event happens, boom, it automatically fires off a journal entry into Decile Hub via the accounting accounts endpoint. There is zero delay. The moment the blockchain state updates, your firm's general ledger reflects it instantly. Asset and equity codes are completely synced.
Much like a consensus algorithm stepping in to resolve a split chain, this API integration eliminates the reconciliation lag entirely. It perfectly matches computational truth with accounting truth. You no longer have this awkward temporary divide where the blockchain says one thing and your back-office accountant says something completely different. They are literally one and the same. And finally, Section 6, automating legal packs. We have to secure the pipeline from code all the way to compliance. We need to turn abstract digital intent into an enforceable private contract, which we call a pact. Because, let's be real, if things go horribly wrong, you cannot take a line of JSON code to court. You need formally recognized, ironclad agreements.
So we use the send pact endpoint. This automatically distributes these legal agreements to asset holders the very moment the ledger updates, and it all happens silently in the background. The investor just receives their highly personalized, legally binding documentation instantly without any human bottlenecks.
The crucial takeaway here is that this agentic workflow removes manual friction entirely. It allows AI agents to handle the massive operational burden so that fund managers can actually just focus on generating returns. This perfectly reflects the QGov Constitution's model of enforceable, predictable rights. The machine is doing the heavy operational lifting, the drafting, the sending, the filing.
By bridging the Decile Hub API with the QGov ledger, we've really proven that a unified, perfectly synchronized dual ledger system is a reality today. It's the architecture of autonomy. We have successfully taken the notoriously slow, dead capital of traditional finance and brought it to life on a programmable, mathematically verifiable infrastructure.
It's a fundamental shift. When reconciliation is instant and compliance is fully automated, it really leaves us with one incredibly provocative question. If we can automate perfect truth across digital and physical ledgers right now, what part of the analog financial age will this architecture render completely obsolete next?